Make some waves, said a new friend. It sounds like you want to be an amorphous blob, like a jellyfish carried by the waves. Stop reflecting, said another new friend. Be the creator, the generator, we are of the source. All right, let's unpack all of this. So yes, through that, in the post-resignation state of consciousness, that is, when the old driver has stepped aside, when the subject no longer drives, when the shell of the individual and the shell of the subject group has shattered, there is a certain void, and this void was reflected in my previous musing. For a reason, we need a clear slate before we talk about dynamic agendas. Otherwise, we are simply driving astray, stepping back into the old driver with a new coating. So, of the waves we might make, yes indeed, you have the potential for making waves. Those potentials arise from your accumulation, the fuel that you carry into this life, patterns, potentials embedded in you. Those all, when brought to the fore, create waves, land impacts into your environment. However, if you hijack these potentials, hijack these waves to advance your subject assertion, to enhance your individual stance, these waves become distorted. They will not land like a hand in a glove into the ocean of the environment you interact with. They have been meddled with. And as such, the proper, reconciled, harmonic approach is to first of all witness your patterns, recognize the potentials that are emerging. No need to craft for anything new. You've got plenty in your bag from your continuum of existence so far. Recognize them. And when you recognize them for what they are, without your projections, without your illusions of how they sculpt your identity, you will see exactly where they fit and how well they fit. And then all we do is watch and wait for the openings. It is not even the I that is the watcher. The I has nothing to do with any of this. The I that was a hallucination, and the I that is not. Right? So your patterns in themselves, your potentials in themselves, are each watchers unto themselves. And you have the manager watchers for the more significant looms and weaves of your potentials, their aggregations. They all abide, wait for their openings. And yes, the fact is, as we biding our time, waiting for the openings where our potentials match and result in something meaningful, in something actual, instead of simple, meaningless ripples. Then what we bring to the fore is high definition actuality from our side. It zaps, it lands, and it jolts, it makes an impact to a point where people are often uneasy with the input, because the environment, the fabric of actuality itself resonates and reverberates with the drop of clearly seen patterns and potentials. It's unnerving, and it often saturates and even overrides. Not that there is an agenda or an intention to override or sidestep anyone, but when there are foggy hallucinations, when there are confused compositions, they tend to pale in comparison to simple, lucid actuality. Not for the sake of whoever brought it forward, but simply for the sake of what is in it. Because what's in it is as it is, it's unmeddled, and therefore it fits, and therefore it's consequential on a profound level. So yes, by all means, make your waves, but be mindful of where the waves go, be aware of what your waves are and where they stem from. Then, merry waving. And the related topic, really the same topic, but in a different mode of phrasing. Stop reflecting, start creating, generating. We are of the source. Okay. Now, through that, stop reflecting in the sense of being a mere blank canvas that is being liberally imprinted by the environment without standing for anything at all. By that, you will simply be filled with every sort of clutter passing by. Don't do that. But also, let us not be one-sided projectors, unilaterally injecting at whim whatever that we hold into the environment, whether it fits or not, simply because we can. That also seems an awfully self-centered thing to do. Do not become the evil creator in the environment. Listen, attune, reflect the context. Ensure that there is a receptacle or the makings of a receptacle. Reflect the potentials that are out there. Marry them with the potentials that are in here. Fuse them, combine them. Then from this seed and ovum, creation actual happens for the benefit of all, not simply for your entertainment. So we have here the threefold mirror dynamic. We have the reflected, passive. We have the reflector, the active. And we have the principle of reflection itself. Do not go too far to either extreme. Do not be the imprinted. Do not be the imprinter in the interactive membrane of our existence. Find the middle ground. In there, in the oscillation of potentials, all things are reconciled and all things come to blossom. So will you make your waves then? Yes, sir, I will be making my waves in due time and season, all things in their turns. And in the meantime, I am downloading, I am extracting, distilling, organizing, and when the opening is there, I upload and I deploy. Not before that, not before the environment is ripe, not before the receptacles are present. And this here flux of musings is a case in point, an illustration, a proof of principle. All of this, what we've covered, it's not that I've crafted it anew, it's there, but it has not been brought to the fore in this particular form simply in lack of a receptive context. Now we have new friends 1 and 2 on the waves, on the reflection, so that creates a framing, and into that framing what has been said was poured out. Did I make waves? Yes. Did it go into an ocean where the invocation for these waves exists? Well, I hope so. This is how I personally roll. And anything else, making waves without a context, is simply stressful, unnecessary, especially when you do that as a matter of standing out, asserting yourself. It is but a source of suffering for you. Perhaps you get the temporary taps and pats on the head, some self-gratification, but in the end, It is painful, it is stressful, it will all degrade and collapse because it was founded on hallucinations. It was driven by an illusory driver, the you that is not as such. Then step down from the high seat, leave it empty. All things, let them self-organize and express themselves. It will land better. So then, mind your patterns, track your potentials, make your waves in the mirror, and be well.